Hi everyone, I'm happy to have William here today with me from InnovMarine. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, Craig, for having me here.
So a lot of what we've been talking about today with both people we've had on and just around the show is kind of
Yeah,
innovation, information, how can shipyards take advantage of the latest and greatest
right,
and have it make sense for their shipyard. Um, what kind of
right.
conversations have you been having at the show?
So we're having a lot of conversation around the transfer of information, and the biggest thing that we're seeing is from the initial design, moving to functional design, then detailed design. But that's kind of the spiral. So that's something that we see, and all the tools are optimizing this, right? So we talk about ShipConstructor, we talk about a bunch of different types of tool that are made to integrate all those phases. But when you arrive to purchasing or you arrive to production, it can create some issues on the cash flow for the whole company. So if, for example, the design get released and then they send that to purchasing, they send it, and the drawings are not released at the right time on the shop floor, well, it creates some cash flow problems for the whole company.
So what are some strategies that can help them overcome those challenges?
That's a good way. I would say technologies is a good way to look at it. The first thing I would say is to look at the process. Look at your entire process and being able to see where it lacks. And after that, technology is the best thing, the best enabler. We talk about PLM, we talk about even a smaller solution that can automate it. If I think about the ShipConstructor infrastructure, only scripts that you can build with Publisher LT could help you a long way just to extract the information, import it into the ERP, and making sure that tools that you have, such as ShipConstructor, ERP, we can talk about IFS, SAP, whatever, need to make sure that you're using the tool as the best of its capability.
So you just named a lot of different vendors, us included, a lot of
Right.
ERP, PLM, CAD, all that stuff.
Yeah.
How do you make sure they work together? And how do you make sure the information's in the right place at the right time?
That's I would say the question. Versioning collaboration between departments are really hard. And when we look at shipbuilding, it's one of the only industry that you need to do the design's about 30-40% done, and you're starting cutting steel. So there's no magical solution for you to be able to have all the right version and being able to flow that information right all the time. Just need to rely on your people to execute a nice process, the process that is the most optimal for you, and look at the right technology. And there's a lot of technologies that such as PLM, or there's other types of technology that we see in other industry, information industry, for example, Facebook. They have, I'm going to use instead of Facebook because it's too complex, Autodesk. They're using, because of the variety of their sales and integration, they're using a tool that helps them to connect everything from marketing, to production, to product release, and so on and so forth. They're able to have a tool that looks at all the smaller ones, a little bit like a PLM can do in a different way. That's just an eye on other industries, but it can be done. It's harder for us, and I would say we're a bit behind. But yeah, it can be done with the technologies. It just need to be implemented the right way.
Yeah, you mentioned shipbuilding is a bit behind, and I think there's definitely a stereotype there that shipbuilding's old-fashioned. They're not using the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
Do you kind of see that changing? Is that evolving throughout the years?
It is. It is definitely evolving, and I would say a lot of government are taking this on them to be able to help the shipyards innovate. If we talk about the US, there's the NSRP projects, which is allow the government to fund some smaller business like us, InnovMarine, to be able to develop technologies with the shipyard. So the shipyard tells us what they need. We show technology. If they like it, then the government can do some funding there. And the shipyards are really, it helps them. And there's a bunch of different type of innovation fundings. If I flip border, if I look in Canada, the ITB program, which is the international, the benefits program for technology, right? So make sure that technology are developed in Canada, and the ITB program really rely on innovation, and there's a lot of funding from the government for innovation, innovative tools. So I think it's a step in the right direction. Are they actually implementing it? For now, I would say the big shipyards are, and the underserved type of the underserved side would be the mid-tier shipbuilders. There's not a lot of integration for them, and there's not a lot of technology that they can say, yeah, we get the money for that, right? So that would be the place. The next step would be the mid-tier shipbuilders. The bigger ones, yes, they're taking steps, they're innovating, they're looking at other industries and making really good steps.
Do you think part of it's kind of a mindset thing as well? The mindset of the individuals at these shipyards is kind of shifting, and they're seeing the value because, say, if you're at a mid-sized shipbuilder, you're seeing it implemented and in action at a different shipyard, a larger shipyard maybe, and that's kind of making it, giving individuals the idea that it's possible and it can happen.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it starts at the schools. We need to have that innovation culture, right? And in a lot of yards, culture is really the barrier. There's a few people that you're looking at, they're like, yeah, they want to keep. They've been building ship for 30 years, and they say, that's the way I build ship, that's the way I want to do it. And there's a way to bring them in the process and ask them what would improve their life. They don't want a tablet on the shop floor. Well, it's maybe because they don't know what's going to be the benefit for them to have a tablet on the shop floor. That's an example that we hear when we implement technologies, and they just want to be involved in the first steps. They want to be there, and you just need to have them involved and slowly getting there. And I think there's definitely a mindset shift.
Are you excited about the future and how the industry is developing and the direction it's going into?
Yeah, I am definitely excited about the future. I would say I think it's a commercial from Mazda that I saw I saw on the TV a few days ago. Was I'm excited about the future, but I really want to take what's today and push it forward, right? So let's take the technology we have today, implement it, try to find a way to make them work, make them have our work easier for us, and keep talking to everyone about what's the other needs, and then the future is going to be bright. We just need to keep talking, keep the conversation going, and keep testing what we have now. Technologies can't evolve if they don't have feedback. So if everyone gives feedback, definitely the future is going to be great. Yeah.
Great. Just want to switch gears here a little bit. InnovMarine and SSI have been partners for, I don't know how many years, but quite a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
What makes the partnership successful between the two companies, in your opinion?
That's a good question. I would say relationship and being able to have the right vision. So we're the Canadian reseller of ShipConstructor, and we have the same vision of how do we want to see shipbuilding in Canada. How do we want to see it evolve? Shipbuilding in Canada was gone for like 30 years. Then the NSS really helped bring that back. And it goes all the way to Dennis as the co-CEO and we're talking weekly with Craig Talk, product specialists, making sure that we get the feedback from the customers, and SSI has always have very open ears and was acting on those feedback that we're receiving from the customer to make the tools a really optimal tool for our industry today.
Yeah, I know we certainly appreciate your feedback and the crucial role you play between us and the shipyard and the client at the end of the day. So excited for another 15 plus years of successful partnership.
For sure.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you, Greg.